Today we'll be learning about multiplying decimal by a power of 10, multiplying decimals level 1, multiplying decimals level 2, multiplying decimals, and multiplying decimals number 3. And starting off with multiplying decimals by a power of 10, for this one all you have to do is you just gotta move the decimal over depending on how many zeros it has. So 10, if it's 10, then you're gonna move it one spot, so it's just gonna equal 6. So number 1 is 6. But for example, number 2 is gonna, it's also by a power of 10, so you just move the decimal point over 1. So it's gonna equal 7.3. And if you look at number 4, it says times 100. And if it's 100, then you move it 2 times over. So it's gonna equal 457. And let's try number 4. It's gonna be times 100. So you still have to move it 2 times. So it's gonna be 1, 2. And then if there's an empty spot, you just fill it in with a 0. So it's gonna be 1,220. And for number 8, it's gonna for 1,000 you just move it 4 times, and for 10,000 you move it 5 times, and so on. So we have 1,000, so we move it 3 times. So it's gonna be 1, 2, 3. Then becomes 13. 143.1. So 13,143.1. Oh, and let's try number 10 for the last one. 725.285, and then it's gonna be 10,000, so you gotta move it 5 times, or 1,000, no, 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and if there's an empty spot, you add a 0, and it's gonna be 70. No, it's gonna be 7,252,850. And now moving on to multiplying decimals level 1. So for this one, you just multiply. When you multiply decimals, you just multiply it like you multiply like anything. So you put 0.5 times 3. And for decimals, unlike addition or subtraction, you don't have to line up the decimal. So the decimal could go wherever you want. But remember just where the decimal place is. So this is in the tens place, or like there's only tens place, then you're just gonna bring that down later. So it's gonna be 5 times 3 is 15. 1 goes on here, and then 0 times 3 is 0, plus 1 is 1, and then since it was in the tens place, or it was before the tens, then we're gonna put it right here. So it's gonna be 1.5. Number 2, 9.2 times 4. Just multiply it regularly. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 9 is 36. And we just bring the decimal point down. So 36.8. Let's try number 6. 83.9 times 4. We just multiply regularly. 4 times 9 is 36. Move the 3 to the top. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 3 is 15. And 4 times 8 is 32, plus 1 is 33. And you just bring the decimal point down, so it becomes 335.6. And let's try number 8. 8.423 times 9. 9 times 3 is 27. So move the 2 to the top. 9 times 2 is 18, plus 2 is 20. 9 times 4 is 36, plus 2 is 8. You move this to the top. 9 times 8 is 72, plus 3 is 75. And you can see that this is 3, so there's 3 places right here. So you go 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be 75.807. And now moving on to multiplying decimals number 2. It's basically the same thing with like bigger numbers. So it's going to be 32 times 0.4. You multiply, it's going to be 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 3 is 12, and you just bring the decimal point down, so it's 12.8. And starting from number 2, it gets a little bit more challenging, but it's literally the same thing except for it's by 2-digit whole numbers. So 4 times 2 is 8. 2 times 3 is 6, and then you move on to the next one. You put a 0 as a placeholder. 1 times 4 is 4, and 1 times 3 is 3. And when you add it, you get 408, but that's not it. You gotta bring the decimal point down, so it becomes 40.8. So number 2 is 40.8. And we'll just try one more. We'll try number 8. 86.24. 0 times 13. Okay, 3 times 0 is 0. 4 times 3 is 12. Bring the 1 up. 2 times 3 plus 1 is 7. 6 times 3 is 18. Bring the 1 up here. 3 times 8 times plus 1 is going to be 25. And then you put the 0 here as placeholder. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 6 is 6. And 1 times 8 is 8. And once you add all this up, so 0 plus 0 is 2, and then this can be 7 plus 4 is 1. Bring 1 up here. 9 plus 2 is 11. Bring 1 up here. 11 plus 1 is 12. And 3 plus 8 is 11. And you get this, but you got to bring the decimal point down. So it becomes 1121.120. And now moving on to the last section, which is multiplying decimals level 3, except for just 2 decimals. 9.4 times 0.4 is going to be 4 times 4 is 6. 4 times 9 is 36 plus 1 is 37. And since there's 2 decimals, you're going to have to move 2 decimal points out. So basically it becomes 3.76. Now let's try 8.6 times 2.3. 6 times 3 is 18. Bring 1 up here. 3 times 8 is 24 plus 1 is 25. And then there's a 0. 6 times 2 is 12. You move the 1 back up here. 2 times 8 is 16 plus 1 is 17. And you add it, becomes 8, 7, 9, 1. And then since there's 2 decimals, you're going to move it here. So the answer is going to be 19.78. And thank you for listening.